Hello and welcome to How to Be an Icon. I'm Jared Jones and I'm joined by the most jellical woman I know, Donna Cameron, everybody.
There's so many awful cat noises in all of it.
Yes, today we're talking about cats. But before we jump into cats, a bit of housekeeping to do. Number one, the idea of this episode was, so let me give you the backstory, the play-by-play of what happened. We recorded our Christmas special, which is coming out on Christmas Day. And then after the Christmas special, we went and watched Cats. We were a little inebriated. We'd had a good time. We'd had a few drinks. We'd had a few giggles. And we were like, we'll watch Cats. And then the next day, we will record the episode. Very ambitious of us. And you can probably see what happened.
We didn't.
You can probably tell because, you know, you'll listen to that episode and you'll be like, oh, they're not recording an episode tomorrow.
I've not heard it back and
I'm just slightly dreading it.
Yeah, I'm a little frightened.
Yeah.
Have you started the edit yet?
I've heard a little bit and I go, oh, that was ambitious of us. But no worries, no matter. We will start on Monday. Not a problem. Didn't happen for one reason or another. That was not anything. And then Donna really didn't want to do the episode, so she started licking turnstiles and just got really, really ill because she really didn't want to talk about
I
her
didn't
favorite.
want to do it. And I chose having influenza instead. Like, I preferred to just be like hot and sweaty and vomiting rather than dealing with the 2019 Cats film.
Yeah. And honestly, that's fair. I then also didn't want to do it because I was like, well, if you're getting out of it, then I'm going to get out of it. So I then got ill. So
not as ill as me.
Not as ill as you. You know, I'm built different. So it has been a week since we watched Cats. Not that that makes any difference. It's a once seen, never forgotten experience. So, and
but
hence
we haven't just seen it once.
But no, we've seen it many times and we'll get into that. But hence why I sound a bit like this right now. I'm not 100%, but we're going through with it anyway. So if you haven't already...
We love recording sick.
We do love recording sick, and we do this for you. So please, if you can, give us a follow on your podcast platform of choice, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We are also on YouTube as well. You can follow us on Instagram How to Be an Icon Podcast. And we also have our Patreon, patreon.com/How to Be an Icon. We do have our Christmas special episodes that were going up that we were going to be talking about different Christmas medias. However, as you've just heard, we've been very ill, so we have not done that.
We have not been full of the festive spirit.
However, because of that, we were going to put it on our Patreon, but because we want to be nice and because we feel like we owe it to you.
It's the season of giving.
It's the season of giving. We're going to put them on our main feed. Well, they'll also be on our Patreon as well, so you can get them on there if you prefer listening on Patreon for whatever reason. But they're going to be on our...
Makes you feel exclusive.
Yeah, exactly. And also as well, this episode that we are going to do is actually quite interesting because it is on, I'm going to call it the Japanese version of Wham's Last Christmas. But yeah, it's a very interesting story as well. So if you are interested in that, it'll be going up on our main feed as well as our Patreon. So, but today we're talking all about cats in our ongoing effort to talk...
The mammal. What great little guys they are. They got 4 legs. Little apex predators you keep in your house.
And attitude. So much attitude. No, in our ongoing series of talking around Andrew Lloyd Webber without talking about Andrew Lloyd Webber, we're not doing an episode on him. There, how about that? We're going to talk about everything
else he's ever done.
Everything else he's ever done.
Never doing one about him.
Yeah.
Because who cares?
Because he would low-key kind of hate that. He would hate that we talk about him, but not talk about him. I mean, the other thing as well is if you want to know our thoughts on Andrew Lloyd Webber, do listen to our Christmas special because we do review him in 3 words or less / fewer.
I genuinely can't remember what I said for any
I remember what you said. And I'm not going to spoil it here, but you should definitely listen on Christmas Day because it is good.
Oh, no.
But yeah, we're talking about Cats, the musical. Now, the reason why we're doing this is mostly because of the 2019 film, which came out around this time of year in 2019.
I seem to remember it was either the 22nd or the 23rd of December because they wanted it so desperately to become a Christmas tradition.
Yes. And It didn't. Well, I mean, it did sort of.
It did in our house.
It did in our house, but only every other year because I can't watch it.
I can't watch it every year.
I can't watch it every year. It's too much. Again, we'll get into it. So we're going to talk a little bit about how did this happen in the first place?
Why did this happen?
Why did this happen? Donna, you are our resident theatre boy. You love your musicals. You love your razzle and or dazzle. You do that. I was just about to say, can you do some good jazz hands? And let me tell you, they are.
I'm doing it now. I would do some kicks, but our mic keeps disconnecting, so I can't.
Yeah, let's not do that. I don't want you to kick the desk. Like that's not what we're here for. But yeah, Cats. How did it come to be? Why did we feel a need to make a movie about it in 2019?
That I don't have the answer to, but I can tell you a little bit about the stage show. It's really interesting because Cats has run for so long, but everyone seems to not like it and make fun of it. I can't quite figure out the...
So I think the thing about Cats is that, first of all, it's a collection of short stories and poems by T.S. Eliot.
Based on the Old Possum Book of Practical Cats, which he wrote for his godchildren.
Yeah, he did. And, they're sweet, pithy little bits about cats getting up to silly little japes and doing fun little things.
The musical tells the story of a tribe of cats called Jellicles, and the night they make their Jellicle choice by deciding which cat ascends to the heaviside lair, which is basically them dying.
So do you know what Jellicle means?
No one has any clue what Jellicle means. It's just this word he used.
So the idea behind Jellicle is a cutesy sort of play on Dear Little.
I thought, yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, it doesn't really mean...
But it doesn't actually mean anything.
Wasn't he like making fun of rich people who like live near him?
Yeah.
I think that's why he was like, oh, dear little cat.
Yeah, that's why Jellicle came about. Also as well, not to actually you on this. So, but the heaviside layer part is actually a pickup. So,
okay.
T.S. Eliot wrote about it and was like, nah, not about that, and kind of binned it off.
Oh.
He wrote about it in letters to his friends.
Okay.
Being like, yeah, I'm thinking about this kind of thing. And then he ended up ultimately scrapping it because he was like, I don't really know what this is. Mm-hmm. But Lloyd Webber really was like, I don't know how to end this.
So he pulls this.
He pulls this out of the bin basically and goes, yeah, that's how we end this show. It has a structure. I'm going to put in big air quotes there.
Structure's very loose. It is a collection of cats introducing themselves and then one of them dies.
Yeah.
For 2.5 hours. And I should specify, by the way, I love the show. I had the recorded pro shot of the show that I had on VHS that I actually wore out parts of because I would watch it so often.
Yeah.
I love that as like a young child. I can see why a lot of people don't love it. It's a bit of a hard sell because it's 2.5 hours of people who don't really look like cats.
Yeah.
Dancing and singing about things that don't really make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. It's like a Hideo Kojima game.
You have to suspend an awful lot of disbelief and just kind of let it happen.
In that, a character introduces themselves and says, "Hi, I'm Corn Dog Man. Here is my story about how much I love my favorite frozen food that I have to have every single day." And it's like, why? You called Corn Dog Man?
I love corn dogs.
And then he ends up dying after he's given all of the exposition that he needs to give. It's basically the same as Cats.
Yeah.
I'm Trimble, and I'm the squiggly little doodad cat with my fancy hat and my silly little shoes.
We frequently talk about rejected cat from Cats. That it's like, Dustbin, the garbage cat. He's got 3 legs and he's got no eyes. He'll bite you and run away.
Yeah. And that's it.
That's the whole song.
But yeah, I didn't really make the connection, but yeah, no, it has a very similar, very similar to Hideo Kojima games.
The show opened in the West End on May 11th, 1981. 44 years ago.
Damn.
As of 2024, Cats remains the 5th longest Broadway show and the 8th longest running West End show.
Good
Like,
Lord.
it has huge runs. The original London run ran for 21 years.
Yeah.
It's been, like, revived a bunch of times. There is a purpose-built theatre in Japan that just performs Cats.
Yeah.
There's like, I think Germany has like an 18-year run.
They love a Lloyd Webber musical.
Japan and Germany really, really like Andrew Lloyd Webber musicals in a way that I'd need someone with a degree to explain to me.
Yeah. So, like, I think the thing about Cats is that while the plot is absolutely non-existent and paper thin,
Yes.
the thing that you are there for, the live experience, is the dancing.
It is a dance show.
It is a dance show. It is so physical. It is very, very, like, you know, and the makeup as well is impressive. Those suits,
all the costumes, all the makeup looks fantastic. Like, you are singing and dancing. You're watching people be very skilled at what they do, and that is fun to do. It came at a really interesting time, actually, because around this like period, it was like commonly believed that Broadway dancers were significantly better than London West End dancers.
Yeah.
And this kind of like shifted that significantly because it opened in the West End. It was choreographed by Gillian Lynn, a really well-known British choreographer. She does or did a lot of the Andrew Lloyd Webber shows.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what drew so many people. It was also really accessible. People could take you could take your kids and stuff like that. So it's the first example of the mega musical.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know,
it's grossed something now like 38 billion worldwide. The number is ridiculous.
I mean,
people do like Cats.
Yeah, people do like Cat, and like, you know, it's not for me, but like, I can see the appeal. I understand.
Memory.
You know, it has a few all right songs, you know.
It's charming.
Yeah.
I think it's like,
you know, it has one that I would say admittedly very good song,
which is
Memories.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Skimble Shanks the Railway Cat, which is the best song.
You know, and then it has a few all right songs, you know. You know them when you hear them and you're like, yeah, musicals.
Oh no, I can close my eyes and hear every minute from beginning to end if I really tried. But I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's, you know, I think it's very cute. It's a fun musical, and ultimately I think it's pretty harmless. It's not.
I think it's a very good like first musical as well that feels grown up. It doesn't feel like a kid's musical.
Yeah.
It's that like first thing that you watch that feels like adult theatre.
Yeah, I get you. So obviously, you know, we've spoken before in the past about on our other Andrew Lloyd Webber adjacent episode that we did, which, you know, is now a common trend, I guess. And the Phantom of the Opera episode, we spoke about how musicals don't very often get movies straight away. They normally take a good long while.
Because they want that box office
money.
They want
that box office money.
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
You can make more money from a musical, arguably, than a film.
And it does the really good thing of you get to cash in while it's hot, and then when it's sort of tapering off, you can go, well, we're releasing a movie, and then you see a massive uptick in it. We've seen it with Wicked over the past couple of years. Like, you know, Wicked is now, you know, massively back on West End and touring productions and stuff like that. Like, you know, it's come back huge.
It did a big boost for Les Mis.
Yeah.
Rent got a bunch of revivals when that film came out as well. So yeah.
It's quite a common practice. Mm-hmm. So we sit on Cats for about 10 years, and we get to the early 90s, and a man called Steven Spielberg, you may have heard of him.
I know him, yeah. We're friends.
He has the idea that he wants to do a animated version of Cats.
Which sounds delightful.
Yeah. So the idea is that it's going to be set in bombed out World War II London, and it's going to be fully animated, but they run into the problem, which everyone runs into, that there's not that much of a plot to Cats.
There is no plot, yeah.
So they couldn't really stitch much together, and they had a bunch of writers come on it, a bunch of script doctors come on it, and nobody could really find the shape of this thing.
Yeah, because it otherwise just ends up kind of like Fantasia, but with like no change in style either.
Yeah, we're like Fantasia has the thing of like at least Fantasia is doing different set pieces.
Exactly, whereas this is just a different cartoon cat.
Yeah. So we get to the mid-90s and Amblin Animation releases Balto, which is a movie based on the story of the dog that saves children from diphtheria.
Oh, I bet that's like not going to just absolutely ruin your Christmas.
Well, nobody saw it, so it didn't ruin anyone's Christmas.
Do you know what? Good. I don't need to watch a film about a dog saving children.
So Amblin Animations goes out of business because of this, because, it's a big old massive flop. And most of the people who work at Amblin end up going to Spielberg's new studio, DreamWorks. And if you want to hear more about that, listen to our episode on Michael Eisner. We have a full kind of breakdown of how that happened and where it comes from.
He's on the plug machine today.
He really, really is. Cross-promotion all across the board.
The Michael Eisner one's a really good one as well.
It is. It's very in-depth. If you love Succession, you'll love that episode. And if you don't love Succession, you should watch Succession and then listen to our Michael Eisner episode. So this movie has kind of disappeared, but it's like all these movies, it never truly goes away.
No, someone will like bring it up and go like, cats though?
Yeah, and these scripts kind of just sort of float around in the ether for like the longest time. And we get to a very important milestone in 2012, which is Les Mis. And the director of Les Mis, Tom Hooper, who, Les Mis, again, maybe a musical we will talk about and not talk about.
It's not an Andrew Lloyd Webber music.
It's not Andrew Lloyd Webber, but
it's Cameron Mackintosh produced vehicle, though.
But it is a movie that is, pretty modestly budget. Like, it's not massive, but it does gangbusters, does huge. And
Anne Hathaway gets that Oscar.
Yeah, and there is a lot of Oscar buzz around it.
Russell Crowe's in it.
Russell Crowe is in it. He's also gotten a lot of Oscar buzz because he does, before that, The King's Speech, a movie that I quite enjoy. It's very like Oscar fodder, don't get me wrong. It's a biopic about
Colin Firth, not stuttering.
Yeah, and it's a nice, sweet, charming movie.
With a lot of good acting.
Good British acting. It's so British and, yes.
A lot of sincerity.
Yeah, I quite like the King's Speech. I know it's a very like, shouldn't have won Best Picture kind of thing. And I'm like, that's fine. That's a discussion that you can definitely have. But I don't not enjoy the movie. Yeah. Do I think it should have been Best Picture? No, I don't. Did I enjoy it? Yeah. Like, that's...
I mentioned to you that I went to an interview at a very prestigious university in London, and the week after he'd won that award.
Yes.
And just had to sit opposite a picture of him. Well, I just realised they're not going to let me in here. With my little grubby, coal covered hands.
Yeah. So, and the other movie that Tom Hooper has directed is The Danish Girl, which Eddie Redmayne also won an Oscar for. So he's kind of got the Midas touch.
He can do no wrong.
He can do no wrong. And he's done an amazing job on a musical before in the way of Les Mis. So why not do Cats?
It makes sense. You have all of the awards. You've already proven you can do a musical.
Yep. And
Les Mis is quite a dry musical as well.
Yeah.
To make that to get that many people to see it is pretty good.
Yeah. So... And this is part of the thing of, because I've saw a lot of people at the time and a lot of people now be like, well, why this cast for Cats, which goes into production, is like, why do they have such a star-studded cast? And it is star-studded.
Oh, it is bursting at the seams.
It is stacked. And it is because if you are in any Tom Hooper project, you are guaranteed that Oscar nomination. Like, it is a done deal, pretty much.
It's happened 3 times.
It's happened 3 times.
It's not stupid to think.
Yeah. So that's why you get so many people who are like, I will do it. Now, the idea is kind of like, well, we want to make them look like real cats. Like that's the kind of thought process. And you can kind of go like, well, that's not a great idea. But they get a small VFX studio called Mill Film, and they are based in London, and they are like they start off by saying, this is not possible. We cannot do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go, we can do it, but it's going to be very, very expensive. And then it came to the point where it was like, we can do it and it's going to be within a budget.
And you go, okay.
And they do.
It doesn't fill me with hope when you start with, we can't do it.
Yeah. Now, it sort of goes wrong almost immediately because, of course, it almost
you can kind of see that in the finished product, that no stage of this was good.
Yeah. So Tom Hooper is having a really, really hard time coming to understand the process of animation.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't understand the idea of in-progress animatics.
Right. Okay. Which is quite important in animation, I believe.
Yes. He wants it to be fully animated before he decides to make changes to shots and changes to cuts.
You can't do that, bud. That's a lot of work.
You cannot do that. So animatics, for those who are not like fully in the know about these things, an animatic is a very rough animation. So it might be like the texture of the cat is not right. It's not going to have any fur on it. It's not going to might not have ears or whiskers or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's just going to be kind of like an outline of what the cat might look like.
It's almost like just screenshots that are
you've got
barely done.
Yeah, it's like little clips, almost like, just little bits. Little clips,
so people can see
a rough idea
what we're aiming for.
And like some of the background cats that you're going to animate in there, they're not going to be fully animated. They're just going to be like sliding around as like the motion's not going to be there.
You sometimes see them in like deleted scenes for Disney films.
Yes, yeah.
They'll include sometimes the animatics in there.
And I don't work in the film industry.
Neither do I.
But I'm aware that animatics are a thing and that you can't just get the thing to do it.
Finish it.
You can't just put it in the computer and it's going to go. Like
no,
that.
but the computer can do it though, so why is it not doing it? There's a lot of people going, how do we explain to Tom that this is not?
So this is kind of where it's like we're really, really struggling. Now, this is where our boy Andrew Lloyd Webber comes on the scene.
Oh, hello. That's
He's like, he's in the room with us. But yeah, Andrew Lloyd Webber comes on the scene and is like, look, you need my help to make this work because without me, you can't get this to run. This show doesn't function properly.
Yeah, you need someone who actually like gets what this is.
Yeah.
And you don't get what animatics are, so we're not really going to trust your opinion too much.
But they kind of close him out immediately because they're like, no, you're not helping here. Like, you're doing a bit of what? This one is like one of those things where I'm like, do I think he could have helped make this better? Yes. Do I think it would have been better? No. Because I think Andrew Lloyd Webber was doing what he normally does and making things about himself. So they were like, no, cut out. Like, you are not.
Yeah, that tracks.
But he is like constantly butting in, being like, we could do that. And they're like, no, we're not interested. They give him the thankless job of writing a song with Taylor Swift. Which
that nobody finished.
That was being written as they were performing it.
And it shows.
The song is called Beautiful Ghosts, and the chapter on box office poison that I have read 9 times in preparation for this, because we have been talking about doing this episode for so long, and I'm like, I'll catch up on that chapter, and then
I'll just reread it.
I'll just reread it, and it's like, damn it, I forgot. Reread it again. So, but
notes make notes.
But Tim Roby says in that book, he's like, it's as if you put the lyrics to Memories into ChatGPT, and just
someone's writing words on a whiteboard just before she says them.
Yeah. Just so that, because it does look like she doesn't remember what is actually being said.
Oh no, she's really like struggling. Andrew Lloyd Webber has a really bad run of original songs in his musicals because Learn to Be Lonely and Phantom of the Opera sucks as well.
And it's so clearly written to be an Oscar song. Like, it's so clearly written for that. It's
because
like,
they can't use Memories because it's not an original song.
It's not an original song. So yeah, it's like, well, if we just retool Memories to like kind of work, and it sounds nothing like any of the other songs in the.
No, it stands out like a sore thumb.
It sounds like a very bad Taylor Swift song. Like in that, like
it comes after Memories as well, which makes it stand out even more because that's one of the most like iconic songs in musical theater.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And here's one that's way worse, I guess.
So we can't get the songs right. Andrew Lloyd Webber is knocking about trying to make this better, but doesn't really know how. And
I feel like he's knocked over a vase.
Yeah, you know, he's like,
just get him out.
He's just like making notes and they're just not listening to them. And the VFX people are having an absolute disaster of a time trying to make it work. Because there is the other problem of the fact that the fur, and to be fair, in the film, the fur is not the problem. The fur doesn't look bad.
It's fine. It's not the most egregious thing.
No,
there are much bigger issues.
The design is the biggest issue. Because part of the problem is that the fur is sort of bunching up in weird ways because everyone is wearing skin-tight lycra. Mm-hmm. But it is like kind of bulging together in places where you don't particularly want it to. And part of this leads to what is someone's actual job that they had to do of removing the buttholes from the cat. So that the way that the fur was going and like modeling around these actors is that it would go to a point under their tail where it would look like they had a little butthole. It was not an artistic decision.
No one put the buttholes in.
No one. That was just a
byproduct. They just happened.
Yeah, that was just a byproduct of what happened.
Oh, we're myth busting the butthole edit.
Yes, the butthole edit is. So it did exist in the sense that there was an edit where there was a mark that looked like a butthole, but it was not an artistic choice. So we're at a bit of a crossroads. Everything isn't going right. The animation is just an absolute mess. They're really struggling with it. Because the crunch on this thing is insane.
Oh, it's bad. Granola.
Yeah, it's good God, the hours that they had to work to try and make this work. And it is just not working.
And it's not worth it either.
It's absolutely not worth it. But then, a day that lives in infamy. The 18th of July, 2019. The first trailer for Cats is released.
I remember this. I was at a barbecue with you, and I was so giddy about it.
Yeah.
Because, it was like looking into the sun.
Yeah. This trailer came out, and it looked horrendous.
Woof.
Now, the finished film doesn't look much better, but oh my God.
Ooh.
So the big question is, why did they release this trailer at this point in time? The reason was they'd given themselves the hard deadline of Christmas because that is award season. Mm-hmm. And we're not sitting on this boy for a year. We need it out.
We need it out.
This is our 2019 Christmas movie. So you have got to get it out. It was
everywhere.
Yeah. And everyone was like, this is the film. This is going to be the film. So, you know, the award season, the red carpet had already been laid out. Tom Hooper, he had the Midas touch. He couldn't balls this up, right? Oh boy.
Oh, that trailer said otherwise.
Now, do you also remember, also in 2019, there was another VFX absolute abomination that was due to be released in 2019.
Was it the Sonic the Hedgehog film?
It was the Sonic the Hedgehog film, which the trailer had released a couple of weeks earlier.
Mm-hmm. Again, I remember that as well because no one I was with believed that Gangsta's Paradise was in that original trailer.
Yes, absolutely disgusting.
I think they're cowards for changing it. I truly do.
So the company that was bought in to fix Sonic was Moving Picture Company. They were the ones who were in charge of fixing Sonic the Hedgehog. And to be fair, they did a very, very good job.
They did an exceptional job. They decided to not give him individual teeth.
Yes. And they're a much bigger studio based in Canada. Mm-hmm. So this trailer... Thanks, Canada. This trailer comes out and Tom Hooper can be seen smoking a cigarette in his mouth and holding a lit cigarette in his hand on the day that the trailer is released, because he knows that this is going badly.
I've been there. I can't remember when, but I've definitely been there. That's incredible.
So this small London studio that they had before, they can't do it. So they end up pulling in the team that are also working on Sonic the Hedgehog to also try and fix Cats.
How much crying was in that phone call? How much, please? Please. And anything you can do.
Yeah. So,
because after the 2 cigarettes, professionalism's gone, right?
Yes.
You're not being like, so hey, we've got a project for you. It's like, I need you to fix this because I'm gonna be in so much trouble.
We
if
spent
you don't.
so much money on this film that nobody wants. And like, we're talking all about this, and like, this is the technical level. The other problem is that they can't get it to work in a script sense. The structure of it is just not coming together in any way.
It doesn't work as a film. It doesn't match any film that you've ever seen before.
It does not follow a plot. And this was the problem that they ran into in the 90s.
Yeah.
Was that they're like, there's no real way that we can put this together to make it a flowing narrative.
It's not satisfying cinematically.
No, it's really, really not. And then, there are other things on top of that. But the main bulk of it is like, you're following this cat, Victoria, through her meeting all of the cats to then go to the Jellicle Ball to make the Jellicle choice to who goes off to the Heaviside Lair. And
remember it.
Yeah. And so we get introduced to all these characters, and the thing of it is just like, it just doesn't flow together in any way whatsoever. It is a absolute mess, beginning to end. And then up until hours before the film is due to have its New York premiere, they are still scrambling to make this work.
Unbelievable.
Because right up until there are cats that are floating away at the end. Like, when they're...
And not the one that's supposed to.
No, in the Trafalgar Square scene, like, they're just levitating off the floor. Whiskers are coming and going. Like, there's the classic one that Judi Dench's wedding ring is, you can see it in some shots, like, very, very clearly.
I saw it in the version I saw in the cinema.
Mm-hmm, which is, I think, probably one of the first. I think we saw it separately, but we had both seen.
I watched it the day it came out.
Yeah, and I watched it not too long afterwards. So there's just on like a filmmaking level, there's so many things wrong with it. You don't know how big the cats are. They go from being cat-sized to way too small to way too big.
They are anywhere between the size of a toddler to a mouse.
Yeah, that is
within
shot to shot. Your brain can't work out how big they are, and it can't work out why they're the wrong size. But it does it in so many ways.
They're never in the same place.
When
the shots change, they are in other sides of the room sometimes.
And the other thing as well, which I think is the most baffling part of it, which does make sense when you get down to the technical as to why it's shot like it is. But the whole thing of Cats the Musical is that you see these amazing dancers doing these amazing performances. And the film is...
You don't see any of it.
You don't see any of it. It's shot so claustrophobically. It's shot so up close. You don't see any of the cats. The cuts are just...
rapid.
They are just so back and forth on the cuts. And it just does not come together in a like satisfying way. You really do struggle to see anything on screen
for any like period of time, apart from they do really noticeable bits where they want you to do TikTok dances.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the earliest adoption of that, where they are like trying to get the like
bits that
virality in there.
Yeah, and once you've seen it a few times, you really start to notice it because it's the only time that there's like enough of them in frame.
Yes, yeah. There is only one sequence that works, and it is with Skimbleshanks, because they got an actual, honest to God, really good.
One of the most talented dancers I've ever seen.
I'm doing him a disservice. I should look up who it is.
James Corden and Rebel Wilson are the worst thing in that film.
Yes.
They are horrible to watch.
They are
horrible.
horrible.
They are not funny. They are not charming.
No.
They are obnoxious.
There is so Jenny Anydots is how you get introduced to this movie, where Rebel Wilson is obnoxious dickhead cat who takes her own skin off to reveal a sequined jacket and sequined fur under her skin.
If you imagine that in a Broadway show, she has like a big fur coat on and it's supposed to be she's fat, but she teaches all the mice to tap dance. Oh, surprise, you're in a Broadway show. So you take it off and you've got a shiny outfit underneath. That's fun. It's weird when it's supposed to be her skin. It's bad.
Yeah, and
I really failed on words.
They have the dancing cockroaches that get decapitated. The way that they decided which dancers would get decapitated was that they had a dance-off to decide who would get their heads bitten off by Rebel Wilson, which is the thing that happens in that film.
Yeah.
The other thing is that James Corden is a fat idiot, as always. And
Hate him.
Because he ruins what could have been the best part of the movie, which is rapping Ray Winston cat. I'm a tiger. I'm a filthy geezer.
He shows up like the Hitcher from the Mighty Boosh out of nowhere to do like a 30-second bit that is interrupted by the worst man our country's produced, James Corden.
And that's we've got some...
I said it and looked at you going, am I going to stand by that statement?
Yeah. He's up there. But yeah, no, Ray Winston is a rapping cat and James Corden does some pithy little bit to go,
oh, well, what are you going to do? Boo!
Stephen McRae is the person who plays Skimbleshanks, who, again, does an incredible job. So what was the fallout of this? On a budget of $80 million to $100 million, it only managed to scrape in $75.5 million, which, rule of thumb is that you take your budget and you double it. That's your press, like for all your press and everything like that. So it did not even come close to breaking even. It was a huge bomb. And it did develop a very small cult-like following at first. A lot of people wrote on Reddit and described their first time doing mushrooms to cats.
No.
That was quite a common trend at the time.
It was and probably will be the best experience I've ever had in a cinema. For so many reasons.
Yeah.
There was a row of women in front of me who just got hammered on little bottles of red wine and started singing. I know how the show ends.
Oh my God.
And everyone else in that cinema didn't. And just being in a full cinema, it was like 8 p.m. opening night for that film. Watching everyone watch Judi Dench stare down the barrel of the camera and say...
I've never had a cinema experience like it. I remember messaging you and being like, I want to burn the cinema down. I want this. How dare this movie? How dare it have the audacity to do the entire monologue about how a cat is not a dog?
And things you should feed cats. So yeah, cats... The cat dies. All the other cats get together and do like a long poem.
Oh my God. It's
about the qualities of cats. And I was like, surely they're not going to include this in the film. And they do.
The whole thing.
The amount of people, you're like watching them like slowly pick up the bags. People looking at each other going, what do you mean it's not over? The cat died.
Just kept going. And it just felt like an eternity. And this movie had the audacity, the chutzpah to think that it deserved any more of my time that it had already taken. It is a absolute, the liberty of it, the sheer gumption to think that you have earned any more of my time that I have given to this poorly animated, poorly acted, poorly shot, and this movie thinks that it can do this chintzy little poem about how you should feed a cat cream and salmon and whatever. And it's just like, go away. I've had enough. I want to burn this cinema down. How dare
these
you?
actors not know what to do with their face as Judi Dench recites this poem, because they all have to stand around her and look enraptured.
Yeah.
But that's really hard to do in a close-up.
Yeah. The film was notable because it received week to week updated graphics like a patch in a video game.
No film had ever done this. I thought this was hilarious.
So it had kind of started to build a cult sort of gathering, like a audience. And the Prince Charles Cinema in London, which does a lot of sort of sing-along and like cult film showings and things like that. They do one every year for the Muppets Christmas Carol, where they do a Muppet Christmas Carol sing-along and things like that. They were like, oh, we're straight on this. We're gonna book in screenings for a sing-along cats-a-thon. People,
which would be so much fun.
People are gonna absolutely love it. And then COVID happens.
Boo.
And I will say that Cats is definitely a cinematic experience. You don't get the same thing watching it at home. I think that watching it
Seeing them on such a big screen,
it really is that like, oh my God, look at this. This is
wow.
Yeah, it's quite something to kind of behold. And you don't ever really get that experience any other way. It's the most unique cinema experience I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And again, I think in Tim Robey's book, he says about he's like, it is beyond a star rating, because I can't think of any 1 or 2 star movies that have stayed in my head so much. I can't think of any 1 or 2 star movies that I've watched 5 times. Like,
yeah,
I can't think of a movie that is so bad that I've seen so many times.
What film has such an awful rating across the board that we put on every 2 years at Christmas?
Every 2 years, because we think it's too bad to watch every year, but interesting enough that I need to go back and watch it. It's genuinely fascinating. The fallout for Tom Hooper is that he has not directed anything since.
He now lives on a trash island alone, just eating cigarettes.
Yeah, the last thing he directed was a McDonald's commercial, and that's...
Whoa.
It truly broke him. He was awful to work with as well. He is like such an absolute diva. Speaking of divas, though, Andrew Lloyd Webber, he... This is one of my favorite stories from this whole film.
I would love to watch the film with a live stream of him watching that film.
Yeah. He got, just as during COVID, he got a plane to America. And obviously he wanted to bring his little emotional support dog that he had gotten for the making of Cats. I think it was called Martini. I could be wrong.
That makes me like him a little bit more.
But yeah, he got his emotional support dog because he was really stressed out during the making of Cats. And obviously during the time of COVID, you had to sort of submit a reason as to why this was an emotional support dog that you needed to come in with you. And he wrote in the box to say, "Darling, did you see my movie Cats? They butchered it." And they came back and said, "No doctor's note required. You can bring your dog in, your emotional support dog with you."
I have seen that online before. Is that a real story?
That is a real story, yes.
Because I've seen that before, and that's one of those things that I go, I can't believe that. But
no, that is...
I love that.
Yeah. That is the story. A bit longer than I was expecting, but that is the story of 2019's Cats.
And we all say,
if you haven't already, please subscribe on your podcast platform of choice, whether it is Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Like I say, we are on YouTube. Give us a follow on Instagram. Instagram is How to Be an Icon Podcast. And of course, we will also have our post show going up on Patreon, patreon.com/How to Be an Icon. And we'll give you our bonus Christmas episode right here on your podcast platform of choice because we're just so nice. But if you do really want to, please go and subscribe to our Patreon. It's currently free and we have a lot of fun stuff going up there.
Tell your friends.
Tell all of your friends. Yeah, give us a share round in the festive season of giving. But Donna, do you think that Cats is iconic?
I do. And I say this not as a joke because the musical... people do like that show.
Yeah.
Like I said, It's in Team America.
It sure is, yeah.
You know, it gets mentioned in pop culture. Like, people know what you mean when you talk about cats. Everyone knows the song Memory.
Everyone knows Rum Tum Tugger.
He's a curious cat. I can do that at the drop of a hat. I also think that 2019 film is iconic.
Yeah, okay. What would you...
I am fascinated by really bad films.
Yes.
Those things that you go, it's bad at every step. Yes. Every decision made was bad. And I think it's just because I want to ask people, like, how did you get up every day and go make this? Like, what do you do when you're looking at this cat's asshole and going,
I need to edit this out.
I need to fix this. And I only have, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, do you think you're doing a good job? Do you think like, oh, maybe we can make something out of this? Or do you know, oh, this is a burning trash fire that I just have to see myself through? I will never have an experience like that again in my life.
God, no, I'll never have an experience like the first time.
Because we'll never make a film like that again.
Well, this was going to be my point of like, Cats is unique in that it is the last dying breath of Hollywood in that like way that we used to make movies. Mm-hmm. Now things just get dumped onto streaming. That now wouldn't have been released. It would have been put on Netflix or Peacock, and it would have just been buried down there.
It'd have been removed after a month.
Yeah, because we don't need it. We released it because we had to. Or we, if we do the Warner Brothers strat, we'll just never release it and just do it as a tax write-off. But you couldn't do that back then. And I know that it was only 6 years ago, but that's just not, we couldn't.
You had to put it out eventually.
You had to put it out. And obviously COVID changed all of that because now it's like, we're like a lot more, streaming on demand, like, and you can kind of bury these flops a lot easier now, because you don't need to release your numbers when it comes out. You brag about them when they're good, and then you hear nothing of them.
You can lie about them when they're bad.
Yeah, you can lie about them when they're bad. You can
Dwayne.
It's got great verticals. Like, great verticals. And like, it's, that's the kind of thing of it now. It is the last big box office bomb of classic Hollywood. And I can't think of a better movie for it to go out on.
Oh no, because like I said, every single thing about it is bad.
Yeah. And I think that would probably be my lesson of Cats, the movie, not the musical. Because you have an idea doesn't mean you should go through with the idea. It may seem like a good idea that you go, Cats, Les Mis worked, all these other musicals are working.
We're kind of ticking down the list of like, Les Mis is the longest running, Phantom is the second. Cats is an incredibly long running show.
Yeah. And especially when people before you, and I would go, people that are more talented than you, have said that this doesn't work. Mm-hmm. And the creator's going, you're going to have a really hard time making this because it doesn't work. And you go, no, I know better. It is a tale of hubris.
Yes, you deserve to have this happen.
And part of that is on the director, part of that is on the studio, part of that is on the people that were involved. As good as some of the performances are, Jennifer Hudson does do a very good rendition of Memories,
They do her such a dirty. She looks awful in that film.
But she really belts it out, and she thinks she's going to get that Anne Hathaway Oscar that she believes that she deserves. And like in a better movie, maybe you would have done. And no one at any point questions it. Everyone is there going, this is going to work. Even though you know
it's not.
There's
no way it can work. Look at it.
And the other thing that I want to put out here, because this is a very good point that I think gets so overlooked in it, is that obviously it's so easy to point to the VFX and go, yeah, that's why it falls apart.
That's not the only reason.
I would say even if that was perfect, that movie wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Because it's shot terribly. It looks awful. The art direction is doo-doo.
The character direction is doo-doo.
And the dancing, the thing that you're there for, is just, you can't see any of it. It's shot terribly. And the script is terrible. And one of the other things is that the following year's Oscars, our two favorite people, Rebel Wilson and James Corden, come out dressed as cats to present the award for Best VFX. And it's like, shut up. Like, you two were awful in that film.
Yeah,
Your performance was terrible, and you're just like blaming people who don't get paid massive amounts of money, who are just working as hard as they can. Guess what happened to the studio that did the VFX for it? Got shut down.
Yeah, so a bunch of people lost their job, and you get to show up and go, yeah, it's shit, innit?
It's so shit. Like, no,
do one.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, the VFX are bad. That is not the fault of the people working on that film. It was the studio mandate to get it done.
Yeah.
It's the director being like, I don't know how animatics work. Can you just do all of it and put it in the computer and make it go? So, yeah, I think that would be my thing of like, if people are telling you this is a bad idea, maybe you should listen.
If everyone is... So, here's the thing. If one person tells you it's a bad idea, take it or leave it. Who cares? If everyone around you is telling you it's a bad idea, don't do it.
Yeah, I think that is.
My lesson would be, just because something's iconic doesn't mean it's good.
Yes.
Which is a thing we need to remind ourselves of on this show. When you look through some of these, you go, really? Just because we talk about it does not mean we endorse it or believe it to be iconic.
Yes. I think that's fair. I think that's very, very fair. Well, thank you very much for listening to this episode on how to be an icon. Okay, we're changing it up a little bit, doing a movie, which I think is quite fun.
Yeah.
I'd quite like to do more of these. Maybe in the new year we will.
Well, we can do Andrew Lloyd Webber, Evita.
Yeah, Andrew Lloyd Webber. Oh, man, we've got to do Evita now. We've said it.
We've got to do it now because Antonio Banderas is such a disapproving neighbor.
Man. And Madonna's like 14 or whatever in that film at some point.
She does play like a very young teen.
I mean, we do talk about Evita in a Madonna episode, so go listen to that one if you haven't already heard it.
Oh my God, 3 for 3.
3 for 3. He is on fire. Next week, we have a very special guest joining us for our penultimate episode.
Ooh.
It's again, we love being terminally British. It's our favorite thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought, let's just go whole hog, because we are going to be going through and ranking our favorite iconic British puppets with radio presenter and comedian Jack Wood, who is absolutely fantastic.
You're in for such a treat.
You are in for such a treat. So that'll be going up next Wednesday. But thank you very, very much for listening.
Thank you.
And Skimble Shanks home safe, everybody.
And we all say...
No.